Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'll do a video basically AI centered. I'm going to show you how you can basically self-host a Ollama instance. So if you don't know, Ollama is basically an API for AI. So it allows you to run AI models on your own computer or VPS or whatever you want. I'm going to show you basically how you can get it to work through Cloudflare tunnels. Also, so if you're using it remotely running on a specific server and you want to use it on another server, I'm going to show you how to do this. So let's get right into it. So first off, what we're going to want to have is basically a Linux server. You can use it on Windows and Mac, but for me, I'm going to basically concentrate myself on Linux for this specific video. So the first step that you're going to want to do is go ahead and run the install command. So the install command is basically going to be this one. I'm going to leave it a second here so you can copy it. But once you run this, it's basically going to install Ollama, download the bundle, and then install the service that you need to make it run. And after that, we're going to modify a bit of things. I'm going to show you why right after. So let's just wait for it to download and then we'll get back into it. So now, as you can see, we just got it installed. We can see that it added the Ollama user and also to make it have the rights to basically use the actual service. And then it created the actual systemd service that we're going to modify and I'm going to explain to you. And then it told you that there's an NVIDIA GPU installed. Now, regarding hardware, you might want to check it from your side, but if you have an NVIDIA GPU, you just need to make sure that drivers are installed. The way you can do this is just type NVIDIA SMI, and it's going to show you basically the devices installed. So for me, I have two 8 gigs GPUs, so an RTX 2070 Super and 2080 Super, which allows me to run, like 14B models. But for yourself, you might want to use an AMD card or simply just hardware like a CPU. So this will be for you to choose. So next thing we're going to talk about is how can you then use this actual service to do stuff with it. So let's just start by doing Ollama space list. So if you just install Ollama, this will return you probably nothing because you don't have any models downloaded. But I'm going to show you how you can pull your first model and start using it. So to do this, just go to ollama.com /library and you'll be able to see like all the models that there is. I love to sort them by popular or newest, depending on what you want to do, and basically read what they can do, the sizes of them, and everything. So let's go with Gemma 3 to start. And basically the rule of thumb here for choosing a model is you need to check the size. So you need to take into account that if you're using a GPU, so let's say for myself, I have two 8 gig GPU. So this gives me about 15 and a half gigs of usable VRAM. So in my case, if I was to use a 17 gigabytes model, uh, it would not fit on all my GPUs. So the tokens per second would be really slow. So what I would do is take this 8.1 gigabytes, and in this way I'm sure that I have enough space on my GPUs to run it. Now, just for showing an example, we're gonna do a Gemma 3 and 1B, which is only 815 megabytes. So the smaller the model, the smaller the context window, and then the smaller the hardware required to run it. So it shows you basically how to run it. There's two ways you can do it. So you can start by doing Ollama either pull or you can do run. If you do run, it's going to pull it first if you don't have it. So let's just pull it for now. We're going to do Gemma 3 1B, and then it's going to pull the manifest and start basically pulling it from the ollama.com repo, and then after that we'll be able to run it. So now what you can see is we've basically pulled the model, and so we're going to be able to start running it. So one thing you will do is do Ollama run, and then we can do Gemma 3 1B. and this will basically load the model either into RAM or VRAM, so video memory, if you have a GPU. But as you can see right now, we see that it's ready to basically run. So basically go ahead and do write me a 1000 word story, and we can see that the tokens per second are going to be very fast because this is a very small model. But on bigger models, it might be slower depending on your hardware. Um, so we see the example right here of what it can give us. Now I'm going to stop it right there. So to exit, you can just do Control D. So now that this is done, there's a few things you could do. So first things first, if you don't want to have basically an external way to access your model, you can now use it this way like I just did and use it on localhost. So you could actually get the local IP of your server, and the default port for Ollama is 11434, and this would allow you to basically have it this way. For myself, I didn't set it up this way, so that's why it's not accessible. But if you wanted to make it accessible to your external network, so this is, let's say, accessing it from another server, I'm going to show you how I can do this. So there's a command you will need to run. It's going to be sudo nano and then etc slash systemd slash system slash Ollama service. So if you run this, it will basically bring you to the actual service that is Ollama that is running. So the thing you need to add is basically add another line and just do environment this way, and you're going to do 0.0.0, and this will allow you to basically be able to access it like I just showed you with the IP address, both locally and externally if you port forward with your router. So we're just going to do Control X and then Y to accept this, and we will require to restart the actual service. So if you look at if you do sudo systemctl restart Ollama, it's gonna tell us that we need to reload the daemon. So let's just do this, daemon reload. It's like this, so it's gonna restart the systems, and then we can do sudo systemctl restart Ollama, and then if we check how the system started, we can do Ollama. Just like this, we can see the system is running, the service is running. Now if we go to the actual endpoint of the service, we can see that we now have Ollama is running, which tells us that it's working. So this is good. And then what we can do after that is, if we want to make it work through Cloudflare tunnels, I'm going to show you how can do this. So simply have a basically a tunnel routed to your actual machine. So for myself, I'm using Cloudflare, which is basically either a Docker container you can install or just a service. So if I remember correctly, I can do Cloudflare sudo docker ps, and then I have my Docker container for the Cloudflare something here. I think it's a system. So if I go systemctl status Cloudflare, yeah, so it's running as a service basically. And this allows me to basically remote into my actual machine without having to port forward outside the network. So I just created a service basically on the URL of my actual machine and selected the port where it's forwarded to. And this allows me to have it running this way onto my domain, so I can use it anywhere I want. You can protect this with an API key, which I strongly suggest, so you don't get abused. But basically, that's how you would do it for the external. So now you can download any model. Again, you can see the models you have installed here. You can run a model. I can show you what it does with a bigger model. So let's run 5.4, just like this. So this is a 9.1 gigabytes model. So it's going to be slower to load, slower to basically have tokens generated. So I'm just going to show you right now so that you can understand how it works. Let's just wait a few seconds while the model loads, and then we'll be able to see what kind of output it can give us. So as you can see right now, the model is now loaded. It took about 20 seconds. Initially, when you load a model, that's the longest because it requires to go from disk to system RAM, and then from system RAM to a video RAM. So that's why it's longer. So let's say write me just like there, like this. Write me a 100-word story. So as you can see, the basically the output is fast, but it's not as fast as the 1B model. So this is going to be something you're going to need to expect when having a bigger model running on your hardware to basically see it. So this is how you install Ollama, basically to be able to run on your local devices or a VPS if you choose to go that route. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.